Here we are today up in East Clinton with Ed Olson. Hi Ed.
How are you?
When did you join the fire department?
1968, September 9th.
And why did you join it?
I don't know, I was 20 years old and I didn't know, I was looking for something to do for fun other than, just sitting out drinking and creating havoc. So a friend of mine says to me, why don't you join the fire company? All right, why not? I'll try it. And so I joined, and it's been a lot of fun. I have no regrets at all for ever being a member of this company. There's been a lot of things that have happened in this company. We've had some real great times. We've had some real tough times. One of the toughest times we had recently was when our chief crashed his helicopter on the top of the building in New York City, and it took his life, and that was a hard time. That was a hard time.
I remember that.
But there's been a lot of good times too.
Mm-hmm. What was your most unique experience as a member here?
Unique experience. Probably learning all the different things, all the different training. Because like I said, when I joined, all I figured was you took a hose and sprayed it on the water, or on the fire, and I didn't know what else to do, and learning all the other things and just learning how to do the things correctly and have all the correct materials to do it with. It was just amazing. You sit there as a kid and you look at it and you go, damn, that's how that works. And learning how to operate the jaws, learning how to operate all the different equipment, learning how to drive the trucks, learning how to pump the trucks, all this stuff, knowing how much water you've got available and where your water is. If you don't know where the water is, there's no point hooking a hose up to it because you don't have a prayer.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. What was the biggest fire you ever fought?
Biggest fire I would say was probably a barn fire. There was a lot of barn fires back then. Back in the late 60s, early 70s. I mean, there was a lot of farms around here, so there was a lot of barns. And we had one where God lost everything. Most of his cows died in it. But I can't remember the man's name. That was a big fire.
What usually would start those fires, you think?
A lot of them started, they put green hay in the barn.
Green hay?
Green hay.
Okay.
It wasn't fully cured.
Okay.
You just cut it and you put it in. If it's not fully cured, it'll be a little bit damp and wet, and you put it in there and it just gets hot and it expands and boom! Pops.
Really? Wow.
Kind of like spontaneous combustion. That type of thing.
I just learned something new today.
And that'll set them off.
Mm-hmm. What was the most serious incident you ever participated in?
Most serious incident? Probably some of the deaths on the Parkway.
Now, do you have the Parkway?
Yes, we have the Parkway from Hibernia Road to Olson.
How many miles is that, you think?
Oh, probably, I'd say close to 6.
Okay, wow, that's intense.
And it is the worst spot before they closed the medians down here was on Hibernia Road. Oh, there were some horrible accidents down there. Horrible accidents. And there was one where a girl got killed, and it was just not a pretty sight.
I bet. Never pretty when you see death, either in a house fire or a car accident.
No.
What is the biggest difference you have seen in the fire department from when you first joined until today?
The biggest difference?
Yep. Now think about when you first came in, and you think about today.
They let women become part of the company as firemen. I mean, they were part before as auxiliary, but letting them become firemen and actually gearing up and going into buildings, and it's been a big change. I mean, we've had a lot of great ladies that have come in here, you know, donning the equipment and away they went, you know.
Do you remember what year your first female came in?
Into the fire department, I would say it was probably in the early 80s.
Okay.
In the early 70s is when we formed the rescue squad, and there were women that joined the company then to be part of the rescue squad and took the EMT classes, but they weren't, you know, they were just
EMTs.
EMT. They would go to the scene, you know, to take care of the firemen who got hurt, or go to an accident scene to take care of the people. But it was around the early 80s when they got involved in actually in the firefighting end of it.
What difference have you seen in the equipment during your membership? So remember the vehicles back in the 60s? Compare them to what they have today. Were they all standard back in the 60s?
No.
No? Okay.
We had a 1941 or 42 Army truck that was our pretty much a utility truck. Went to the grass fires and went to the structure fires. We had old pumpers that we got one from Arlington, we got another one from, I forget who the other one came from. We had an old tank truck, there's a picture of it up there on the wall, way up on top.
Okay.
And, but that was to what we've got now. I mean, the trucks have just changed so much, and they're just so much bigger and so much faster and so much better, you know, better equipped to put out a fire. You know, and the other ones, we got the job done, but it was tough. The first new truck we ever bought was a 1941 American in France.
Was that back in 41 you bought it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Brand new.
Where's that truck today?
Today it sits in a garage in one of our members' houses that's
awesome.
In the process of being restored. Getting it back to our own, you know, getting it back to being our parade vehicle and
Funeral vehicle.
Things like that, yeah.
Do you guys still own it, or?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
Company owns it.
Okay. What difference have you seen in the apparatus during your membership? Maybe you might answer that one.
In the apparatus, it's a lot better. I mean, when I first joined, all the gear was on the truck, and you know, the truck would go and you'd been to the scene and you had to pray you got there early so you could get a pair of boots, which were just fishing waders. That's about all they were, is hip boots. You had a rubber raincoat, and you know, pray to God you found the right size boots. You know, that matched, that had a pair. I mean, if you had a size 9 boot on one foot and size 11 on the other side, you know, you were in tough shape. It was a long night.
Did you ever ride the back step of the engine?
Oh yeah.
What was that like?
I understand why they stopped making you do it. You know, why they stopped us from doing it. I mean, you had to hang on.
You did life, right?
Yeah, you had to hang on because there was no, if somebody fell off, you know, you were on your own. You know, I mean, you weren't going that fast. You were going maybe 35, maybe 40 mile an hour, but still, you had the fire was what to get to. And you didn't, you know, they didn't even pay attention to somebody falling off. By the time somebody realized, you know, you had fallen off, you know, Fortunately, we didn't have anybody fall off, which was a good thing.
That's good. That's
It was.
always good.
Yeah.
And how about the equipment that you used back in the day, like the raincoats or?
Raincoats were just rubber raincoats. There was no Nomex in them. There was no insulation. You went inside. You went inside with no Scott packs because we didn't have Scott packs. They didn't have any. You just went. You grabbed the hose and then you went. And when your ears got hot, you came out. It was too late then, but most of the time. But back then, there wasn't as many synthetics in the house
Chemical.
that would cause the chemical reactions that would cause you to not be able to breathe, be overcome with the smoke and the chemicals that are in there that would kill you. Killed a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Not ours, fortunately, but I mean,
And what did you do with car accidents back in the late '60s? How did you separate the person from the vehicle? Well, but since most of them were tanks back then anyway, right? So it wasn't too bad, right?
Yeah. If you could pry the doors open with halogen bars and that kind of stuff, that's what you used. There were no jaws. We didn't have any jaws.
No cutters, no spreaders.
No cutters, no spreaders, no rams to push it with. Nothing that would, open them like they do today. If you could get away with it and it wasn't too awful bad, you could pop the window and go in the car and get them on a backboard and take them out the window. Take them out the other side door or something, however you could get them out. But it was not easy. It was not easy.
Now, did you hold any ranks, any office in the department in your over 50 years here?
Firematically, no. Well, I'm a safety officer now.
Okay.
I'm also the president.
Okay.
I've been either vice president or president for probably 30 out of those 50 years.
Wow.
I wanted to be the guy going into the building.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be the guy that was putting out the fire, not the officer who was standing there saying, you got to go in here and do this. Mm-hmm. No, I wanted to be the guy that went in.
Okay, I hear you.
And I don't know.
Did you belong to any other organizations in the fire service?
No.
No?
Nope.
Never joined Dutchess County or Hudson
Nope.
Valley or FASNY?
Oh, we're all members. We're all members of FASNY and
Okay.
and the Dutchess County. The company is.
Mm-hmm.
The company's a member of all those. But I'm a member of FASNY, but personally a member of
Okay, that's good. Now, what generation are you in the fire department?
First.
First? Any of your kids joined the fire department?
Yes. I have one son who's a member here. He's been in 25 years.
Oh my God. Life member, yeah?
Yeah, he joined as a junior member at 16. Right? We went to an auto accident over on the Parkway at Hibernia Road. He rode his bicycle to the accident. And I didn't live but maybe a mile from there, and he rode his bicycle there, and just dropped the bicycle on the ground and was doing what he could do as a junior member. It wasn't much, but I mean, he was there, and there was some things he could do and some he couldn't. And one of the other members happened to look up the road and says, "Put that damn bicycle down, that's not yours." Somebody was trying to steal his bicycle.
Amazing.
But I have another son who is both of my sons went to the University of New Haven,
Mm-hmm.
the fire science program. The one that's a member here